Oh my God, is this working? Tell me this is working. Let me know if this is working. Hello. I can spell that right. Oh, I see a thumb. I see a couple of heads. Oh. Hi, everybody. Sorry for the delays there. Whew, it took 12 minutes. That's the kind of shit that makes me feel old, right? Like, I legit struggle to get that thing to work. What's up, Flash? How you doing, brother? All the way from Australia. I appreciate you tuning in. So cool. This is for lack of a better term, I'm going to call this thought experiments. That's what these are going to be. I'm going to share some thoughts, and then I want people to run with it. Just let me know where I'm right or wrong, or where we can improve, and go from there. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I like the interaction. I'd like to figure out a way to also have multiple people on here with me, opposed to just my ugly face. So yeah, we'll get it going. Thank you, Mikey G. So we're working there. Lovely. Yeah, that I did. Yeah, I think the chat's working. Type something. Flash was able to say something. I said hello. Yeah, it's live chat. All chats are visible. So there you go. How do I sound? Is the audio okay? Because my little meter isn't bouncing at all. There he is. Can you hear me okay? Nice. Thank you. I figured this one was kind of a test run. I played with it a little earlier today just to make sure it was what, and then all of a sudden when I go live, it was like, oh, you don't have permissions. So I had to go through this whole rigmarole with my Google the Chrome. Yay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and fire off here. Like I said, I'm going to start doing this pretty regularly every week. And I'm going to start off with a little, basically like my thoughts on a particular subject. And then after that, I just want people to fire off on me and give me feedback from that subject, or we can completely go off topic and just talk about whatever everybody else wants to talk about. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to start this with my own personal little affirmation that I do. It is good for me, might be good for you, but it's a little thing I have memorized that I use right when I'm going to sleep, right when I'm waking up, when I'm meditating, when I'm trying to be at peace, when I'm trying to have focus, pretty much all the damn time. So here we go. I am the one. the one of many, the many of one. I'm the one that chooses to receive from the source, amplify, use, and transmit back into this world an abundance of love, light, life, grace, gratitude, authenticity, longevity, optimized health, and prosperity. For I am part of the source, and the source is all of me. We're all connected, every one of us. This planet, this galaxy, this universe, we're all part of the source, and the source is all of this. I draw from that source and I implement into my complete and whole being health and prosperity for myself and all who choose to receive it. My light shines bright as a positive force for God the source into eternity. I practice and share adventure, charity, community, mentorship, and self-improvement. I thank you for my experiences. I thank you for my opportunities, and I thank you for my life. I thank you for everything I am and everything I'll ever be, for I am a small part of you, and you are all of me. If anybody ever wants me to explain all that, well, let me know. And now into tonight's subject. Here we go. I'm going to read this, and then you guys can give me some feedback on it. Now, nothing to my knowledge, is more parasitic on the human species than the human species itself. We are our own worst enemy. Humans are capable of all the good and all the evil in the world, and ultimately, what you allow yourself to believe, your dogma, decides what you will be in any given moment and how you will treat any other person. Each individual, let alone each group, acts as a gravitational force. We pull situations towards good, towards harm, or towards neutrality. Whether we're aware of it or not, we have incredible power and strength, way more than we even know. We claim to believe in freedom of thought, and I agree with that principle. You should be free to think and believe whatever you want. But that freedom must end where harm begins. If your belief system allows you to justify hurting other human beings, whether for professional gain, ideological purity, tribal loyalty, or perceived righteousness, that belief system is corrupt. It is a broken operating system. Imposing your will on others for any other reason than genuine self-defense, in my opinion, is wrong. I like to go simply by I am, so let me be. Individual sovereignty matters. Higher consciousness is not a mystical idea. It is an observational behavior. It looks like restraint when you are the one who has power. It looks like empathy under pressure. It looks like accountability when harm is caused. It looks like transparency instead of secrecy. And most important, it looks like the ability to question your own certainty. Because the belief that you are unquestionably right has justified more violence throughout history than ignorance ever has. If you operate from a belief system that tells you other humans are lesser than you, beneath you, expendable, or deserving of suffering, you're wrong. We're all in this together. And whether we acknowledge it or not, we are collectively shaping what humanity becomes. Be it consciously or unconsciously, we are actively participating in our own evolution. Humans fight. And when you strip away the stories, the symbols, and the slogans, most of what we fight over are excuses to fight in the first place. I don't know if we are capable of reaching a point where every individual can coexist peacefully with every other individual. History suggests that it's highly unlikely. But we can reach a point where groups are not perpetually at war with other groups. War is conflict, simply nature of the beast. Is it just war until the bitter end? Is that what we are? I can only speak from my own experiences. I've never randomly attacked or harmed another human being, let alone for the sole reason that they were different from me. I have, however, been attacked, beaten, and forced to defend my life multiple times because I was perceived as different by other individual groups. They may have believed they were justified. I don't know. I believe the root cause was something else entirely. I believe it was lower levels of consciousness combined with pain, oppression, powerlessness. When people feel powerless, violence becomes a substitute for power. What they believe is defense often becomes offense. We are animals, driven by primal urges and instincts, but it is entirely our responsibility to rise above them, to operate from a higher level of awareness, and to choose consciously in every moment how we engage with this reality. And let's be honest, it's easy to claim moral clarity when you have food on the table, money in the bank, safety, and love. It is much harder when you are scraping by, unsure where your next meal is coming from, feeling discarded by society. In those conditions, survival thinking replaces higher reasoning. And what I've experienced personally is nothing compared to what is happening globally. There is a very real possibility that slavery and human trafficking are at historic highs, not necessarily proportionally, but certainly by sheer volume. There are over 8 billion people on this planet. That's a number so large, it's difficult for us to even try and comprehend. Look into missing person data. Look how many people disappear every year. Look how many people are never found. The numbers are fragmented, inconsistent, and quite frankly, deeply disturbing. By rough estimates, not certainty, but estimation perhaps, 10% of people on this planet are bad actors. 80% are situational. They could go either way. 10% are deeply principled people. But these are tendencies, not permanent identities. People can be moved between these categories with environment, leadership, scarcity. That is the danger and the hope of the human condition. The problem is not that bad actors exist. The problem is when they gain power without accountability. Throughout history, the pattern repeats. Kings become presidents, taxes become assessments, wars become special operations. The languages change, the structure remains. A small minority, driven by unchecked primal instincts, accumulate power, often operating in secrecy, often insulated from any of the consequences. This is where priorities matter. Until we set new priorities as a species, we will continue to repeat the same cycles. And from those priorities flow our policies, institutions, and systems. The first priority should be simple. Do not impose harm. As the Dalai Lama said, if you can help others, do so. If you cannot help them, at least do not harm them. This principle should guide every action we take, individually and collectively. Instead of allowing ourselves to be endlessly distracted by consumption, outrage, and spectacle, perhaps we should be focused on something far more important. Identifying those who are abusing, trafficking, murdering, and exploiting others, and developing real, transparent processes to stop them and hold them accountable. Justice without accountability is meaningless, but accountability without humanity is dangerous, which means we must also ask, what happens after the harm? Is rehabilitation possible? Under what conditions does redemption exist? Ignoring these questions will not make them go away. Money is a tool. It began as a useful one. Now it is largely abstract, manipulable, and given far too much power. And as we can plainly see in our world, it is used far more often to enable harm than to create good. Secrecy plus money plus power is a dangerous equation. Bad actors thrive in darkness. They must be brought into the light. And if there's anything to take from all of this, it must begin with yourself. And every moment you can choose to be a force for good, a force for harm, or a force for neutrality. The energy you bring to a situation affects its outcome. And that influence radiates outward into your household, your community, your city, your country, and ultimately into the world. It is absurd to think that we could be the cause of our own extinction. Having a hard time with words tonight. And yet, here we are. So the work begins with self-awareness, accountability, and integrity. First with yourself, then with your community. If that mindset spreads, even slowly, perhaps we can move the species a few millimeters in the right direction in our time. And in the end, the question remains, what do we, the people, just like it says on the Constitution, truly want for ourselves? And that's what I got for you tonight. Now, I'd love to hear what you all think of that. Am I cuckoo bananas? Any more cuckoo bananas than usual? Or did I just bore you to death? Oh. I'd also like suggestions on future subjects. Well, I appreciate that, Mikey. And how are you doing, sir? You guys getting flooded out with all this rain? You have to go by what? Go bye-bye? Chewy says he loves his Billy TED Talks. Yay. I guess that's what this was, right? Well, I'm not going to hold anybody here. This is, like I said, the first one of what's going to be a weekly occurrence. I promise to be able to get online straight away. Now I know where all the secret buttons are. Yeah, I'm coming up to the mechanical event at Velocity. Not going to play, but I'm going to hang out. May even do some reffing just so I could yell at people. We'll see. It'll be good. Chai ho. You coming up to Velocity with me on the 18th? Should probably get the word out. But it seems like there's a pretty good turnout there anyways. Oh yeah. There's actually here in the States, there's a website that is kind of like a charity watchdog. And sadly, like even like the higher ranked ones have a lot of fluff. A lot of fluff. It's pretty wild. I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to be someone who's donating to Turning Point USA anymore. That's for sure. Whew. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the fact that I'm fat as shit now. I can't believe this happened to me again. This year alone, I've gone from I started the year around this time of year a year ago, 215 pounds. By I want to say mid-April, May, I was 245, 250 pounds. So what's that, 30, 40 pounds, right? Ended up with a bunch of stomach ulcers, was having a bunch of health problems, was in the hospital, got it all squared away, got back down to 218 pounds. And now here I am, 262. I've lost my shit. But I mean, it was very obvious to me because my pants just don't even fucking fit right now. Like, it's hilarious. Like, been eating everything in sight. Haven't been sticking to my program. I got a program that works amazing. Just haven't been awesome. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, we'll be here. Yeah, I will be going back on my diet, my proper diet. Like, I've been keeping up with a lot of my other stuff. Like, I get a lot of sun, I do a lot of grounding, I do my yoga, but I've seriously been eating everything. I haven't been hiking, haven't been doing any like body weight exercises like I normally do. And my normal deal is I don't eat unless the sun's out. I only eat 1 to 2 meals a day. And it's in what's called an epi-paleo diet. So, paleo is kind of close to keto. I call it more of a caveman diet. And then the key factors on that are you eat regionally, which means you eat food that's grown as close to you as possible. And then you eat organic, obviously, as much as possible. And then on top of that, you eat seasonally. So only the food that's actually growing that time of year. And that's actually how I went from the 245 back down to the 218. And I did that in I think I lost that 30 pounds or roughly 30 pounds in like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And I still really wasn't doing a whole lot of hiking or anything, but I got to get back on it. I like my fresh air, so it'll be good. Any thoughts for future subjects? I know a little about a lot and a lot about a few things. I could talk till I'm blue in the face about paintball, motorcycles, fishing, hunting, trucking, real estate, boating, philosophy, UFOs, UAPs, ghosts and the paranormal. I love all that stuff. Happy to share it all. I'll let you have my skinny clothes. That's a good one. I actually already kind of gave you all my fat clothes. That's what all that stuff was I gave you. Good to know. JR Organics from Escondido. Gonna have to give it a look. Well, I think we did a good first impression here. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. I appreciate everybody for showing up, showing the support. I look forward to the future ones. Like I said, in the meantime, send me some text messages or emails. Oh yeah, billycanhelp.com. It's billycanhelpyou@gmail.com. And or just right on the Facebook, wherever. You know, there's so many different ways, contact points to get a hold of each other anymore. Way too easy. Thank you, everybody. Have an awesome night. Hugs and kisses. Be good to yourselves.